So guys, welcome back to another video on Nextjs series. And in this video, we'll be talking about layouts and templates. And it's kind of an interesting topic in Nextjs series. And this is the second video. And if you haven't watched our first video, you can check out my first video where I have talked about basic routings, right? Now let's dive deeper on the layouts and how the layouts works and why the layouts are important. Guys, let's try to understand what are the layouts. Let's imagine we have created a home page, right? And this home page is kind of boring right now. And to fill this up, we might need a header component and a footer component. So if you visit any website, usually they have a header component and we can have a footer component, right? Now we can place these components very easily. And what happens if we create another page called contact us page, then you might say, well, we have created these components as a reusable components. You can simply place our header component and a footer component whenever we are making a new page, whether it's a contact us page or it's a shop page, right? You can simply place these reusable components on these pages, right? Well, that's a very naive approach, but what if we create a layout and instead of placing these two components, we can bind these two components together in a single layout and we can just place this layout in a page, right? Now things are very simple now. Whenever we are creating a new page, so whenever we need to place this layout, we can simply create a root layout. You can see it's a root layout and we can simply replace our child page. See, if you want to load contact us page, the Next.js can simply load this contact us page and then just replace this home page with a contact us page. If a user visits on a shop page, we don't need to change this layout. We can simply replace the shop us page, and that's how the Next.js routes are working. So this is fine. So what happens if we create a shop page and shop page needs to have a sidebar? So let's place our sidebar component over here. Many times we need a sidebar into our page, and you can think of it that this sidebar is common to product page as well. So think of it, you have created a shop page and inside the shop page, if a user clicks on any of the product, they need to redirect it to a shop page. Now we can imagine that if we want to reuse this side component, we can easily reuse this component in a sidebar. But this is where we need a layout. So what if we replace this sidebar with a layout called layout 2 and which can only sit in between the shop page and the product page. Whenever a user clicks on a product on the shop page, we can simply place the product page as a child, right? And we can simply keep the sidebar as it is, right? And we also have this root layout, right? So this is how the component layout structure will work in the Next.js. Now let's try to code this entire piece of thing that I have explained to you. So guys, let's go to the code now and try to understand what I have explained to you just now. And we have already created this folder Nextjs directory, and you can check out my previous video where I've explained to you about the routings. And in this video we'll just focus on the layouts, right? So the way how we have structured this is we have a src folder, and inside this src folder we are using the new routing mechanism of Nextjs, which is app directory, and we are using next 14. So if you go on package.json, you can see we are using 14.2.2. And inside this we can see we have app directory, we have src, and we have a component. So this is, inside this we have page.tsx layouts, and then we can create subfolders like contact us or anything like that. So we will not create now. So let's try to understand what we have created in the home page. So for the home page, we can simply see whatever inside the parent of the app directory, what's in the app directory folder with the name of page.tsx will load on the home route, right? So let's try to serve this. So I'll do npm run dev, and if you try to run this and if you just refresh this page, and you will see this is our home page. So if you try to change 2 to 3 and if you save this, you will see it will simply just change this, right? So now let's try to create our header component and the footer component, and I have already created them. So you can see if we expand the component folder, we have created components, 3 components: footer, header, and home component. And basically I have just copied some of the code from Flowbit, so you can go check out that. So basically what I will do now is if you open this, you can see just returning the function, the exporting this function, right? The footer is also exporting it, and home is also exporting it. So let's try to import all of them into our home page. So let's try to import our home component, and if you save this, you will see our home component is now loaded, right? So you can see we just have some basic component. Then I can import the header. So let me just header component. So this is how we used to import in the React, and that's how I'm basically importing it right now. And then I will show you how we can do it using the layouts. We have now header component, our home page, and a footer component. Perfect. So now let's try to understand what we have just did. So we are importing the header component, we are importing the footer component, and then we have a home page, right? So now let's try to understand how the layouts will work. So let's imagine if we are creating another page. So let's try to create a contact us page, right? I'll just create a subfolder inside this app, and I'll just name it at contact us. And inside this, what we'll do is just create a page.tsx, and we'll just export default function, and we'll just name it as contact us. So I've just created this contact us page, and I will just return a div with contact us, right? So I'll just do that, and now if we visit contact us, you will see it will redirect me to the contact us page, right? So now you can see our header and our footer is not loading, right? And we can simply do is just copy this. We can just import this inside this, and we can do footer, and then we can do it over here, right? So you can see definitely we can do this approach as well, and then we can just import all of the missing imports, and this will work, right? So this will work because we are just importing these components, and whenever we'll create a new page, we'll just keep on importing these header component and the footer component. The easier way to do that is to move them in a layouts. So just I'll remove these. So we'll just keep our contact us page simple as it is, and what we'll do is just cut this, and we'll just open the layout.tsx, and you will see our layout.tsx is having some basic component which is loading the child. So this is where what I have shown you, the child will load. So whenever someone is visiting our home page, the child will be replaced by the page.tsx, and whenever someone is loading the contact us page, the contact us page.tsx will replace into the child component. So now what we'll do is inside the body we'll create a header component. So first we'll import the header component, then we'll load the child, which is our body, and then we'll load the footer component. So we'll do a footer component, and we'll just do a footer component. And what we'll do is we'll remove everything from this, and what I will do is I will just cut this just for the footer, and I will make it in the layout only, right? So I'll wrap this in a div, and I will just do a class name, and I will do this, and I will just wrap the child inside this. So now you can see in the layout we have simple layout with the header component, we have a child, and then we have a footer. So now let's try to go back, and now let's see our contact us page is working fine. And if you go back to the home page, the home page is also now working fine, right? And think of it, if we are creating another folder, think of it as a blog or anything like that. We can create a folder inside the app, and then we can name it as page.tsx. We can create a page.tsx. We can copy everything inside the contact and just paste this, and just change the name. So we'll just name it as blog page, and we'll just rename it as blog page, right? So now if we go and if we visit our blog, now you will see everything will work. Our header is there, our footer is there, and now we have the component blog page, whatever we have inside the blog page, right? So this is very clean approach by using the new layout structure and the way how Nextjs is treating this. So this is very nice, right? So now let's go to a sub layouts and how we're going to define those sub layouts. So now let's have a problem statement that we need to create another layout inside the blog. And why do we need that is basically if you want to create a sidebar only for the blogs, then we need a layout only inside the blog. So the way how we're going to handle it is we have a blog page, and what I'll do is I will just create another component which is a sidebar and component, and we'll just name it as sidebar component.tsx. So now what I have done is basically I've created two subfolder inside the blog, and this page is basically loading the sidebar, and then we have a blog page wrapping inside this. And then if you go in the sidebar, we are basically calling this children inside wherever we need to load this, right? And we have a page. So basically if you visit page, so it will just render this page with the sidebar and the blog page. But if we do a page one, sorry, blog/blog one, so you will see it will just load blog page like this, and blog page 2 will just load it like this. But what we need is, we don't need it like this, we need sidebar in every page inside the blog. So that's where what we'll do is create a layout inside the blog. So we have a layout at a root level, and then what we'll do is we just need a layout for the blog. So we'll just create a layout file .tsx, and what we'll do is just take this and export. We'll do export. So we'll do a export default. This is because Nextjs want these functions to be default export, and we'll just do a layout, or maybe blog layout. We can name it as a blog layout, right? So guys, what I've did now here is you can see we have a block layout, and I'm just returning a div and a sidebar component, and inside this sidebar component I'm passing the children, right? So basically how this works is, if we are loading the page, so the Next.js will load the page and replace the child with the page, right? Now if you go inside the sidebar, you will see that I am passing the children, and I am loading this children in one of the components, so which is basically the body, right? So now let's see how this will work. So once we visit the blog, right? So let's try to understand. So once we visit the blog, the layout will load, and inside the layout, whatever we have in the root directory of the blog, that page will load. So in this case, this blog page.ss will load, right? So let's try to visit this blog, and now you will see that our sidebar is rendered fine, and our blog page ss is also rendering fine. And the cool part about this is every subfolder of blog, which is blog 1 and blog 2, will also have the sidebar. So if we visit blog 1, you will see the page is changed, right? And if you visit blog 2, now you'll see blog page 2, right? So this is how the layouts are working, and this is how we'll define our sub layouts. So this layout is only defined, so this sidebar layout is only defined in the blog folder. So if we try to go back on the home page, this will not work, right? You will see that we don't have a sidebar now, right? So it will only work in the blog or sub folders of the blog. And you can also see we have a header and a footer, right? So this is because the header and footer is defined at the root layout. So guys, that's all for the layouts, and this is how the layouts are working in the Next.js. And in the next video, I'll explain you some of the more advanced topics. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, so make sure to subscribe and like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.